WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, tasting often rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have Kilkerran, Campbelltown, Glengyle Distillery, a single malt Scotch whiskey, bourbon cask matured, cask strength 8-year-old, 55.8% volume, batch 8. So this is actually then whiskey base number 226523. Now, I shared this bottle in a community bottle share with my super fans. Those are people who support me at Patreon with at least €1 a month. And I took the price of €89.90. Why? I bought this directly from the importer, and I still had a much larger profit margin than normal. So over here in Germany, usually we can buy from our wholesaler. We add 30%, we add the 19% VAT, and then that's the price. So basically we take, let's just say, if you have €20 for a bottle, let's go for €100, so it's easier, for a €100 bottle, and then we add the 30%, and we add the 19, so it's 49%, so it'd be €149 is then the bottle price. Now, in this case, I should have been at a price of under €60. But I wasn't, so I actually went up to €89, under the price of €69. The standard price over in Germany at the moment here is between 109 and €129 for this bottle. So you do recognize, at least I recognize, that a lot of people are holding out their hands and going, anything Springbank touches. So here are Mitchell's, where do we have that here? We don't even have that anywhere. On the side we have here, distilled by Mitchell's Glengyle Limited. Anything Springbank, Hazelburn, Longrow, or Kilkerran is going to just fly off the shelves, and we're going to be able to add a lot of money to it. All right, so this is the batch 8. There will be a video about batch 9, which is the sherry cask matured 8-year-old cask strength. I'm not going to do that now. At the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare it to a Springbank 12-year-old. So this is actually now a bottled in 2021 on the 14th of April. So this has a bottle code here of 2162. So this is the 62nd bottling that they did in the year 2021. This one has the bottle code of 2020/232. So they actually did 232 different bottlings already. Now this was bottled on the 28th of November 2022. All right, so 1 year later. So this is here at the very beginning of the year, April. This is the end of the year 2022. So this is whiskey base number 183244 if you want to take a look. So 55.4%. We have 50% bourbon, 50% ex-sherry. Here we have 100% ex-bourbon, and what we also have here is then peated whiskey. Now, I'm going to complain, and I know most of you are going to go like, Jason, shut up. I would love for Kilkerran to actually write on their label someplace, peated. Now, I do know that they have, this book says here they're doing about 100,000 liters a year, even though they have the capacity for 750. They just distill for basically from September to December, so September, October, November, December, 4 months a year. And during that time, they can get 100,000 liters in. And it also says here that they make about, I'm not sure if it's 70 or 80%. It says here about 85% is made up of the regular Kilkerran, and the rest is heavily peated, at least according to the 2022 Malt Whiskey Yearbook. According to the 2023, it's going to be a tiny little bit different. It says here 85%. The same. Whatever that regular is. I have not had so many different Kilkerrans to say that they've all been peated. I thought a few of those were not as peated. All right, good. I don't know. All right, so I'm just going to pour a tiny little bit in here and then have my comparison whiskey. I visited the distillery 2022, so I was there last year. First of all, when we did our tour, we first did the tour of Glengyle, and then we did the tour of Springbank, and on the same day in the afternoon, we were at Glen Scotia. Excellent, excellent thing. If you have never been to Campbelltown, it's a place you. What we did is we flew into Edinburgh. We drove basically over to. We drove to Glengoyne, and then we drove up and over and down to Campbelltown, so that we were there for that. We stayed then 2 nights basically in Campbelltown, and then from there we drove back up and took the ferry over to Islay and spent a week on Islay from Saturday to Saturday. So we flew over on Thursday. So we arrived Thursday night, was there all. We did the tours on Friday, and Saturday morning we took the ferry over to Islay, which was a fantastic thing to do. All right, I can highly, highly recommend it. And if you're going to go to Islay and you can somehow manage to squeeze an extra day in there to do Campbelltown, I would highly recommend it. So on the nose, I'm getting citrus. I'm getting a little bit of like a smokehouse, like a smoked ham, a smoke in that manner here. I get a tiny little bit of, I get green pepper, a little bit of vegetal moments. I get a tiny little bit of a marshmallow going into a nice little icing. It doesn't really seem to be very, very potent, the smoke on the nose. The Springbank okay, that's sherry. All right, good. The sherries had a little bit of sulfur in them. That's 50% sherry, 50% bourbon. That's okay. All right, let's try this now. Batch number 8. One person writes down here, I'm just going to steal from Whiskybase since their notes are, I'm going to talk about fabulous here, right? Citrusy with lemon zest and orange on the first nose, got that. Meanwhile, showing the minerality and dustiness, okay. Boiled pear and caramel added sweetness to the nose. Didn't get got the pear or the apple, but I did not get the caramel. Then the sooty smokiness, iodine, lightly medicinal. It's young, it's a little bit yeasty. This a little bit of milk chocolate, sweet crackers, dried flowers, wax, bubblegum, and hawthorn unleashed after water added. So I'm put some water in the second time. Interesting, I don't normally taste wax, but when I tasted this in my German video, I got wax. It was very waxy. It's almost like the bowling alley wax, when you go bowling and your hands get a little bit waxy, and that's what I got here. So, cheers. Mm. Mm. There's some heat. There's a lot of heat, actually. There's still I'm going to go with lemon zest, or the lemon peel. There's that there. There's a definite waxiness, which I really kind of dig at the moment. The smoked ham, the smoker moment is there. A little bit of the peat from the seashore, a little bit of seaweed. I like burnt seaweed a little bit here. There's green apples, there's pears. I like the finish. It's a longer finish. The sweetness in there. It's not bitter, but there's that citrus acidity going on there. This is a whiskey that is not my wheelhouse. This is not a whiskey that I would gravitate towards. This is not a whiskey I would actually pour again and enjoy and take. This is a whiskey that is, for me as a whiskey tuber, I bought this bottle, and this bottle. So I bought these two from the wholesaler. I bought these two from the importer. And I bought this from the wholesaler, so a 12-year-old. I'm going to do videos about all three of these. So I have a little bit of an idea what's happening at the moment at Kilkerran. The prices are, of course, sometimes even irresponsible compared to the prices the wholesalers give us as the shops, the online shops. And then I buy one bottle of each. I did a bottle share, and I did the video, and that's it. But I can actually buy directly as a licensed whiskey dealer over here in Germany, directly from the importers and the wholesalers. And then I do the bottle share at retail price, and that's how I finance a little bit of my life. All right. So tiny bit of wood bitterness going on here, but still it's interesting. I would have loved to have known if there were first fill bourbons or not. It just says bourbon 100% is all the information I find here, batch 8. On the back, it talks about things that has nothing to do with the whiskey. The same thing as on the other bottle here. It talks about the name and how it'd be not logical to call it a Glen and so on, because that's more a custom more usually associated with the Speyside region. It does say here, non-chilled filtered, no color added. And what I could mention is also on the back of the bottle, which more and more companies now doing, is we have to have the name of an address in Europe to sell in Europe. Scotland no longer belongs to the EU. It's no longer part of the European Union. And so what they do is all the different importers on here. So we would have, for example, the Nectar is the importer there in Belgium. We have the Hanseatische Weingesellschaft, which is in Bremen here in Germany. We have the Société du Gus, which is in France. We have the BU Flor, which is in Geneva in Italy. We have here Pressa und Timmer, which is in Denmark. And we have in Stockholm up in Sweden, we have Clydesdale. So those are the people, the importers that even got bottles. So also that is an interesting fact there to see who didn't get anything. Spain, France, and other France did. Spain and Italy and so on. No, Italy got that. But Poland and Switzerland and Austria and other places as well. So just the comparison real quick to the Springbank. More acidity, more wood, more sulfur due to the sherry casks here. If I had to drink one of these on a regular basis, I'm not the biggest fan of either of these. I love Glen Scotia. I do like a good Springbank sometimes, but most of the stuff I have my problems with. I was really expecting this to be unpeated, which is still a shame, but that's why I bought the bottles. If I had known that they were both peated, I probably wouldn't have bought them. So my value for money, at 89 euros, I'm going to go actually a C minus. 129 euros, which is the between 109 and 129 over in Germany, I'm going to go D plus. The taste, it's not my wheelhouse, people. So it's also going to be a C minus. All right. Other people are going to celebrate it. Has an 87.7 points at Whiskybase at the moment, with 41 different votes already in. This is something that people are going to like, but it is hot and there's a lot of heat going on in there. All right, thank you very much. Now my question of the day is Kilkerran. What type of casks should they be using? Is it the bourbon? Is it the sherry? Is that something else totally that you would say that is actually even better? Port, rum, red wine, anything else? Mezcal, who knows what you want to have? Cider, which would be illegal. What type of cask go best with Kilkerran? Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, telling others, and I hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye.